This is the BS4 podcast, and I'm your host, Bria Villa. Hey y'all, welcome back to the BS4 podcast. I'm your host, Bria Villa, and I'm so excited to have you here today. I'm excited for every episode I ever drop, but this one especially because I have one of my really good friends on the couch, actually a newer friend to me. We've met through the podcasting world, and I'm so excited to have her. She is a beauty entrepreneur. She is a creative. She is a mother. Her love language is physical touch, just like mine, so we're probably going to be, doing little hand squeezes on the couch today, but I really think that she has one of the most beautiful minds. I swear that she is like prophetic, and every time I talk to her, I just get such a good insight about life, and I feel so seen. So I'm really excited for you all to experience her on the couch. So welcome, Shekinah.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited for you to be here.
I'm so nervous.
It's wild to me because you've been on camera so many times. I don't know why.
Myself.
I know. This is
now
her
I don't
first.
have any fillers. It's like just me and you.
Yeah, well.
We're holding hands already.
Yeah, look at us. I'm like, we can't help it. I'm sorry. But is there anything that you would add to your intro about yourself? Did I do a good job?
I think that was perfect.
Really?
Yeah.
There's nothing you would add about yourself. What's your new favorite color?
Pink. And she got me pink roses, and I just changed my favorite color because I was like, I always love black. And that's been my favorite color, but someone on set today said that it's not a color, it's a shade. Yeah. I never knew that.
Yeah.
But yeah, my new favorite color is pink. I'm a nurturer at heart.
You are.
Recently divorced.
Yes.
So navigating the newness of that.
Yep.
And on the journey of truly finding Shekinah outside of mommying, outside of being a wife, exploring the different sides of me, and really just... Yeah, on a different, transformation journey.
I love that. Yeah. I feel like we're kind of in similar, phases right now of transition.
I think so, too.
We're both coming out of old selves. We're honoring old selves. And then we're learning new selves.
Yeah.
And
that's hard.
It's hard.
I think the honor part is hard because the honoring, it's like you have to have a perspective shift.
For sure.
Because it's like, you want to honor that person that you were, but then it's like subconsciously you beat yourself up about that person or the decisions that person made.
Yeah.
So it's like, I never heard you say honoring in that way, but yeah.
Yeah, but you have to because you wouldn't be this version of yourself if it weren't for that version of yourself. Like that version of yourself had to teach you something to get to here.
Yeah.
So you have to honor her.
Yeah.
Because she's the reason why you are who you are now.
That's it.
Period.
But keeping that at the forefront, because it's like, if you aren't where you want to be fully yet, it's kind of hard to honor right away because you're still, like for me, I have this thing where it's like, until I reach where I want to be, I don't really give applause and praises to the little steps that I make. So it's like honoring seems like the end goal to the whole thing versus it's like you can honor yourself through the process of change.
You have to.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you don't celebrate yourself in the small things?
I just never have. I feel like it's just not that big of a deal.
Why not?
Because I'm not where I want to be.
Are you ever going to be to where you want to be?
No, but that's like I always have struggled with perfectionism.
Me too.
And that's childhood trauma. You know, people putting that on me.
Yeah.
Being kind of the smartest one, growing up or just family members putting that pressure on you to be perfect. So then you start to carry this perfectionism. And when perfect is not even a reality, not even Jesus, only Jesus himself was perfect.
For real.
So we'll never be able to obtain that. But yeah, I think it's just constantly trying to get out of that mindset of you can celebrate small wins. It's okay. You can celebrate it and there will be more to come. But I always be like, I'm not celebrating. I gotta wait until I get here.
No.
Yeah.
You have to honor each stage of the process, good, bad, and ugly.
How do you do that?
I mean, own it. I think me working through my perfectionism is
Yeah, you have that too. I forgot we were late in that.
I'm like, I'm a perfectionist to a T, like to a fault sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's if I don't own even the ugly parts of myself, then I'll never be okay with who I am, because that's who I was at one point. So I feel like I have to honor bits of me, because if I don't, then nobody else will.
Yeah.
But also, I used to have it, like, my wallpaper on my work laptop since 2019 is a quote. Of course, me with quotes. Of course. She be sick of my quotes.
What did it say? Who was it by?
I don't even know who it's by, but it says success is a series of small wins. Like, you never have like an aha moment where you wake up overnight and everything changed for you.
Ooh.
It's always the small things that stack up over time that lead to success.
Yeah.
So if you're not celebrating
the process,
then like the outcome is worthless.
The process. I don't know how to do it.
You can.
I've always said that I'm such a black or white person. Like, the process is in the gray, and I don't do gray good.
I don't either, because I've always been like, I'm an all in or all out type of person. Yes. But if you take everything day by day, instead of looking at everything in seasons, it's like, okay, well, I just won the day.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so small but good.
Yeah, like, ask yourself at the end of the day, did I win today? Like, did I win the day?
Yeah.
Did I make it through the day? Did I do something good for myself? Did I
show up? Brush my teeth.
Right. Sometimes that's a win,
and get out the house.
Sometimes that's a win.
No, seriously.
Especially when you're like going through tough stuff, which we need to get into. So today, the B is for bravery. And I'm really excited because this is the perfect person to talk about bravery. Because you are so brave.
Thank you.
You are so brave. She's done what a lot of women and people can't do, don't do, choose not to do, for sake of comfortability, for sake of feeling like a failure, for sake of embarrassment. And I want to like actually unpack your story more, and I know that you haven't fully talked about everything, but I feel like this is the space to do it, because I think a lot of women are going to be able to gain something from your experience. We've talked about this on, I'm going to plug the LTTA app. We've talked about this on the LTTA app. If you don't know what that is, you need to go find out, okay? But it's LTTA app on Instagram, so make sure that you go follow it, because we are both a part of it, and it's a beautiful platform for women. But we talk about this on there, but we haven't talked about it outside of that. So,
I just got nervous.
Oh, you're good though. You're good though.
Yeah,
you're safe.
Okay, keep going.
You're safe. So Shekinah, first of all, is you are a powerful woman, because she really was adamant about saving herself for marriage and saved herself until marriage and did everything truly by the book, like the way that you are on paper supposed to do things. Yeah. And now is navigating divorce. And I think something that is really difficult for women, for people in general, is walking away from something when it's not 100% right for you, but it's also not 100% wrong either. And so the most recent relationship that I walked away from, there was nothing wrong with him.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of people wait until something is wrong before they actually make a decision about it.
Yeah.
But just because it isn't wrong doesn't mean it's right.
Or right for you.
Right for you.
Yeah.
You define what's right and wrong. But I want you to like walk us through it a little bit. So give a little bit of background on like the marriage.
Yeah, so I was with my ex-husband for 12 years total. Married for 7. Have a beautiful baby girl. She's 4. Her name is Halo.
And I love her down.
Yes.
I literally have the
cutest connection ever.
Today
I said, do you want to come? She was like, Mom, I can't. It's going to be too long over there at Auntie B's house. It's going to be so long.
Fair.
Yeah.
I respect her.
No, I was like, I understand. Stay home, get your rest. I get
it.
Yeah, so from the marriage, have a beautiful daughter. We did great things together, built businesses together. But I guess you just avoid red flags. And it's red flags that wouldn't be red flags for everybody. I guess it's more like a good versus a God thing. And I feel like that's been the trajectory of my life. It's like I will leave something good to chase something for God. And
damn, that's good.
And it can get so confusing in your pursuit for the God thing, because the good thing is good. It's not bad. It's just for where I'm going and for the call that I feel like God has on my life, and for the voice that I feel like, even through my imposter syndrome, I still know that there is a greater purpose on my life. And yeah, I think it's just one of those things. It's like, I left the marriage, and this is weird to even say, but I got baptized in January. Rebaptized. I was baptized a long time ago as a little girl, but I got rebaptized. And when I came out of the water, everybody was like, what happened? And I was like, I feel like everything around me just shifted. Like, my eyes were open. And that day it started, like, I had friendships that started to kind of just unravel. And then it was like my eyes were enlightened and opened. And I think throughout the marriage, because I did it the right way, per se, and it's just embarrassing. Like, you don't want to admit certain things. So you just kind of like, I have a habit. I can block stuff away. I can just be like, that didn't happen. That, like, whatever. We're fine. And we have a great friendship. We still do a great co-parenting relationship. But just commonalities of life, like, we just kind of didn't have. And it was like, I was closing off my feelings. And after I got baptized, I started to feel again. And I was afraid because I was feeling not great things. Like, I started to be like, we actually don't do this. We actually don't do that. I just started to feel, but I was happy to feel something. And so we had a conversation and we started navigating it. And he initially agreed that this was the best thing and took it back later. But yeah.
He initially agreed that separating was going to be the best thing. Yeah. And then took it back.
And I'm such a person, I don't know what it is, but it's like, once I come to grips with something, once I have a knowing on something,
you can't unsee it.
I can't unsee it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
It's done. And my friends laugh about it because they're like, when you cry about something, if you cry about something, we're like, what's going to happen next? Yeah. Because when I break down and cry, the cry is a release from it all. Yep. It's like, done. If
it gets me to that point,
it's over.
It's no turning back.
Yeah, it's no turning back. And you know, I wanted him to fight in a way that I don't even think, now that I know he didn't have it. And it was so crazy because he lost his dad the same year. Ooh. So I'm navigating, telling him that this is where I am, navigating the guilt of like leaving my husband, knowing that he's going through grief, and having everybody kind of talk you out of it in a sense, or like, are you sure, or is it just like this way because he's going through grief? Or it's like, no, actually it's been like this, and it wasn't bad. I love him still. I don't want any, no ill will. No ill will towards him at all. It's just like, we just didn't work anymore.
How do you know the difference between a good thing and a God thing? What does that feel like to you?
A good thing is like, it can check all your boxes. For me, everything happens with my connection with God, like when I pray. It's like, if I'm praying for something and I still have a void there, I can't, like, that's just how it's like. This is a peace. It's a peace. And it's like you figuring out how God speaks to you.
Yeah. Some people refer to it as like a gut feeling.
Yes. And Tabitha Brown says the gut is the gift underneath the tummy.
Ooh.
And that stuck out to me so much because I'm like, wow, like I never saw your intuition or your gut as a gift, but it is. It truly, truly is. It's not the leading thing that you have to completely guide your life off of, but it is a great indicator of where you are and where you're going, and just another element that you can sense. So I think that God thing is like, it's a peace because he is peace. And it's like, if I don't have that, I start to be like, okay, what's happening right now? Yeah. Not even who I'm with or what I'm around, but what is Shekinah doing that is interrupting that peace? And I believe that you can have peace. Like, I had peace in my marriage for that time, but God does send disruptions. And disruptions aren't necessarily bad. It's just, you're in a different season.
For sure. You start to have these realizations, right? A lot of people would like sit in it though. And they would like doubt themselves, question themselves.
I did.
Like wonder. Yeah.
I did.
What was like the turning point for you to sit down and be like, no, like this isn't working. this is what I need to do, especially looking at like the life you've created. So like Shekinah comes from parents who they sound incredible. I've never met them.
Yeah.
But they're incredible. They're pastors. They've been together forever.
37 years.
37 years. And like you've seen a true example of a great marriage, a marriage with love.
I think that's what hurt me though. Yeah. I said this to my dad recently because my sister also went through a divorce. It's almost like my mom, her dad was an alcoholic. Okay. So I'm using this as an example. Yeah. She chose to go completely opposite of that, right? And my dad came from a split family as well. So they really made a decision that we're going to choose this and we're doing this for life. I think there's something to be said about when you see something that seems perfect. It's almost like you're green. So like as I was dating or out in the world, I'm like, oh yeah, I can fall, not in the world, but out. Like falling in love with someone's potential or just being green and thinking that every relationship is going to be perfect because my parents.
Because that's what you saw.
That's what I saw.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but then you seeing it, you would think especially because like my parents got divorced when I was young. And my mom.
This is where we bonded.
Yeah. We did. My mom decided to walk away from my dad when there were 2 kids in. And like 5 years into their marriage. That decision, especially my mom was raised very, very Catholic Latin family. So like the biggest disgrace that anybody could do, especially in the Catholic Church, is divorce because you're shunned after that. Like, don't ever walk back in this church again. I still
feel like that it's like that in the Christian community.
I mean,
still, it's not as shunned as it used to be.
Definitely.
But like recently, I had this download that I'm going to start something that I was texting you about because I feel like even when you go to these like events at church, it's always about married or single. Yeah. And now that I'm divorced, I'm like, baby, we in a category of our own. We don't fit in with the married people. We don't fit in with the single people. We are divorced. Yeah. And traumatized.
For real.
Not at all.
For real. Okay. So, well, boy, keep an eye out for that. Because she got something coming and I'm excited for it. But with that, like, feeling of you come from a very religious family, you come from a background of you've seen it work, it is even harder because especially with, for example, if you come from a broken family, you creating that or you stepping into that intentionally or unintentionally is not going to feel as heavy because you're used to it, right? But like for you, making this decision is that much harder because you're going against truly like the grain, and that takes a lot of bravery. Yeah. And I'm really proud of you for doing it because at the end of the day, you chose yourself. You chose what God called you to do. And I feel like some people, it gets sticky of like, there's an expectation or the stigma of like, God wouldn't call you to divorce. Yeah. But that's not true.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that. So like when you ultimately made that decision, like how it all unfolded, did you two have like a conversation about it?
When we realized that staying for our daughter wasn't enough.
Yep. That's tough.
It wasn't enough. And everybody tells you
to stay for the kids. And I will tell you as a child of divorced parents, don't do it. Yeah. Do not do it because kids are smart.
So this weekend she came back from her dad's and she was having a conversation with me, and she's 4 and she's crying because she didn't want to leave her dad's. And she says to me, Mom, I don't understand why we had to leave our old house, because in her mind at our old house is where things were great. Because we didn't have an argumentative relationship. Our house was full of love. That's one thing we had an amazing friendship. So our foundation of friendship, that's kind of where things got blurred. The romance part was not there, but our friendship was just amazing. Really strong. Yeah. And so to her, I think in her mind, it was like, why are they not together? Our house was so full of love and so full of peace and serenity. And so she was like, why? I don't understand why we let other people stay in our house. And so I was like, well, mom and dad are divorced. And I began to explain to her more about it, which we already went down this road, but I just reiterated again. So I said,
her mind is developing. So she's like learning as you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I said, mom and dad are divorced. We're not married anymore. So daddy lives at his place. Mommy lives here. And I live with my parents. So she doesn't understand he lives alone. So to her dad's alone. And she feels that deeply. And when and my parents are there, so we have a community. And so it's a different thing. So she tells me, she says she feels that that's unfair. And I was like, what the heck I say to this? And I was like, well, I can see why you think that, but mommy is going to have her own place soon too. And I'll be by myself. And dad's not alone, you know, he just lives by himself. This is what she says. She says, I think I understand, but she said, Mom, you will always be family, right? Aww. And I'm like, 1000% will always be family. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's a lot. Like it's heavy as a mom.
Because you feel guilty.
Yeah, you feel
guilty. Because you chose what's right for you, but then you're like, but I choose what's right for my child.
Yes, you did, though.
Yeah.
Because what's right for you is right for your child.
For sure.
Because they will feel it. I promise you. Because you stay in a loveless marriage, and they will experience what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then the trauma that comes from that will worse. It can repeat itself. And you don't want that for her. And you want her to see a woman who values herself, a woman who values her worth, a woman who does the hard things, even though they're hard, because they're the right thing for her.
Yeah.
And like, she may not understand it now, but she will understand it at some point. I really do believe that.
That's my deepest prayer for her.
I'll pray for her on that too. Because I think, and at the end of the day, she's your daughter.
Yeah.
There's inklings of you in her. So like, she'll get it at some point. Me as an adult, as a grown-ass woman now.
You get it.
I get why my parents do what they do, because I feel them in me sometimes.
As a divorced child, like when did it click for you? Like how old were you? Well, how old were you when they divorced?
I was 5, 6 ish.
So kind of
5.
Yeah. So when did it click to you that like, okay, they probably did what's best?
Honestly, pretty early on.
Really?
My parents had very different parenting styles.
Same.
Very different parenting styles. And kind of similar. Like, I used to feel this guilt of like, oh, my dad's alone. But I feel like as I got older, I started to realize pretty early on, I'm like, they're very different people. So I feel like I just saw 2 totally different types of parents, parenting style. Early on, I established, like, they're not...
it makes sense.
Yeah, because the way that they parented me in different households was just different.
Yeah.
And I, especially being a little girl, gravitated towards my mother because of, 1, how she made me feel.
Yeah.
But 2, I saw, like, I can name it now. At the time, I couldn't put words to it, but, like, I could see myself in her. Like, the things that she really instilled in me and, like, wanted me to be. So, confident, brave, outgoing, respectable, strong. She was a lot of those things.
Yeah.
And I think I started to, like... because she like taught me that so heavily, I started to gravitate more towards her because that's also who she like really tried to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like Halo will see that in you. And I see a lot of you in Halo in the short time that I've known you. I'm like, just how her brain works, and like even
she's
just like
so strong.
Her demeanor is very similar to you. So I think that she'll like see it and feel it eventually. But that now that you've like walked away, you're managing co-parenting. This is something that you're like actively working on, is how to manage having a child in 2 separate households with 2 separate parenting skills, which we've talked about that.
Yeah.
It's also navigating dating.
Ooh-wee.
Because I think with divorce, there's like this guilt that comes with moving on. And there's a guilt of feeling like you're being selfish if you start dating again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also navigating dating and like when you're introducing your new partner to your child. So like you recently actually broke off a relationship.
Yeah.
And this is the first person that you'd been with outside of your marriage. How was taking that, like, that's a leap of faith. Like, that's like a brave move
because he was
to
also
start dating again.
An amazing person. We walked away because after I got off that couch,
we had a really
crazy. I don't know if it'll be out by then. It probably won't. By the time this comes out.
Well, regardless, it's going to be on the LTTA app. But we talked to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, and we had a really big therapeutic session that I walked away from like a different person. And Shekinah and I both are not like, I'm really not a crier.
Yeah, like, I don't cry like that.
We're not super.
No,
we're not like Braylon.
We're touchy-feely and I'm nurturing and like loving, but crying is not. It's not the first reaction. Yeah, no, it's not the first reaction. But we cried that day, though.
We cried that day. And we cried for each other.
We did.
So, like, I was not on the couch with you.
Ooh.
And I'm listening to your story. And I'm weeping.
You were.
I'm literally sobbing back here. Hearing her story. And then I get on the couch. And I look up. And bawling. She's behind the camera bawling her eyes out for me. And I'm like, we have this, like, wild connection. But we had in this moment with Dr. Bryant, she opened up a few things, and I feel like you walked away from that with a lot of clarity, not necessarily about what we were talking about on the couch, but more clarity about this circumstance as a whole and the relationship that you were actively in.
Yes.
And I feel like a part of that, so what we talked about a little bit was guilt. So this guilt that I'm talking, a lot of it. Yeah. We talked about guilt, and what I just was saying is like you feel guilty when you walk away, you feel guilty for dating again, you feel guilty for trying to fall in love again when you feel like you have so many responsibilities as a mother and trying to figure yourself out and all this stuff. And I feel like I asked her earlier in the bathroom because I was like, I don't know if I like want to say this, but I asked you, I was like, do you feel like the new relationship made you feel guilty about being a mother, about having a daughter, about being divorced to begin with? And I was like, is it something that you inflicted on yourself, or is it something that he made you feel guilty about?
Yeah. And I think subconsciously, he didn't do it on purpose.
No.
He didn't do it on purpose. But yeah, subconsciously, like he did make me feel like guilt around it because he was asking me for something that you couldn't give. I couldn't give
right now or forever,
or right now. Right now, not forever. Forever I am a wife. Forever I am a nurturing person. I am a homemaker. Like that's who Shekinah truly is. But right now it's like leaving a divorce, having a child, navigating a new sense of purpose.
Yep.
A whole full-blown season of transformation for me. And it all was just too much, too fast, too soon. It was so many things that she said on the couch. And I told this to Braylon. It was her and Monica that really was like resonating deep in my soul. And I was like, I was trying to like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard when someone is what you literally wrote down on paper that you want, but it goes back to the transactional inexperience. Like it was so fast that we weren't really experiencing each other. It was a lot of transactional behavior.
Like you check this box, you check that box, you check this box. Like it's almost an exchange of like what I check for you and what you check for me.
Yeah, instead of just experiencing that. It. And then you start to become on accident
what the boxes are instead of just being you.
Damn. And then the moments that you start to be you, they don't really love. I was in such a dark place when I met you.
Right.
After I got off that couch, Shekinah came back.
Ooh.
I released and came into myself in a whole different way. And he was like, where is the person I met? I said, she's never coming back.
Ooh.
And are you okay with that? She's never coming back.
Shekinah.
The person that called you and said I feel worthless, she's never coming back. She's dead.
So can you accept who I am today? And that was...
No. And he was trying. But you can't try to accept someone who they are today, constantly going back to who they were when you met them.
Yep. Ooh. That's good.
Yeah, you can't.
That's so hard.
It's hard. And after I came to myself, literally from a dark place to, I'm like, oh my God. Even my parents started to say, they're like, wow, you seem like we got our daughter back. Like, it was an overnight thing. And remember when I was on the couch, I was like, my body is numb.
Yeah, you were like, I literally
and then my body came back to itself. It was the most craziest experience ever.
Yeah, you literally were like, I feel like limp.
I felt my whole body was like melting away like butter. And I got off that couch. But this is how God works. And this is why I say you have to know how God deals with you. Because my things are always instantaneous. After I got baptized, I come out the water and I'm like, whoa, I got new eyes. Like, I see everything so differently.
That's powerful.
I got off that couch and I was like,
can't unsee it.
I can't unsee what I just saw.
Can't unsee it.
I can't unfeel what I just felt. I can't unsee what I just saw. Nor do I want to.
Yeah, period.
And I'm such a person that's like, I always want to grow. And I always, especially after having a daughter, it's like I deeply desire, one, not to create mother wounds in her.
Yep.
Then I deeply desire to be the absolute best mom. And I know there's no perfectionism in that because maybe I already failed at that, if that was even a thing. But
you didn't fail.
Perfection.
Yeah.
I'm perfect for her, I guess is what you're saying.
You want to protect her so badly.
Yeah, but you helped free me from that a little bit.
How?
Because you were just like, in protecting her, you can almost create the things that you're trying not to create. And you gave me this freedom and this permission to be and even be in the flaws. It's like, because even as a child, it was almost like you were saying, like, I saw Halo say, Mom, I like your flaws too.
Shekinah.
Like, I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
And it's your flaws that's going to help free me.
Yes.
And that's what you were saying to me in the bedroom that day. You were just like, just be. Just let her, as much as you, just let her see you. Let her see and stop trying to, because I think I try to control. I have a control thing too sometimes where I want to control environments. It's perfectionism. And who's to say I'm doing it right?
I mean,
that's what I realized from the whole thing. It's like, we're all figuring it out.
We're all figuring it out.
No one knows.
At the end of the day, by trying to create a perfect reality for her, you're also creating unrealistic expectations that she's going to set on herself one day.
That's what you
like. And if you don't allow her to just experience it, because I love my mother to death, and she really wanted me to be better than her. That's it. And she wanted me to have a better life, a better experience, a better everything than she had. But because she was so trying to perfectly curate it, it set me up to be like, damn, if I step out of bounds, then I'm screwed. Yeah. Or like, I'm like I was moving out of almost like lack instead of love at times. And I feel like Halo, I see so much, and I've like said this before, but I see so much of like weirdly myself in Halo.
I know.
And I feel like looking at it, and like you don't realize this, but looking at Halo, I'm like, she is so lucky to have you as her mom. Like, she is so lucky to have you as her mom, because you by nature are so naturally nurturing. You're such a girl's girl. You're such a lover.
Love the girlies.
Like, you are the girlies.
I love the girlies.
But that's who you are. So like, she's going to see that, feel that, experience that. She's already becoming that, you know? And if you try to like, shelter her from like the days that you have off days, or if you try to shelter her from the moments that, and I'm not a parent, so I really can't speak to this, but I can speak to it from a daughter perspective.
Yes.
If you don't allow her to see the mess, then she'll never know how to handle when life is messy.
Woo, so good.
So like, I feel like you are truly, I feel like you stepping into this season, you're like really walking in your purpose. But I also feel like you making decisions for yourself will show her how to make good decisions for herself. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to piggyback on what you just said that made me think about the conversation we had on the live.
Yeah.
About lack versus abundance. And the relationship that I came out of because I was in a dark place.
Yeah.
And out of a place of abundance. And what I mean by that is, just say you're going through what I'm going through. You're going through a divorce and you're like, okay, I have a child. And it's like, is anybody going to accept me and my child? Well, he does. So let me pick him.
Yeah.
Instead of a place of abundance would say, well, yeah, it's me and her. You either with it or you not. You either on the boat or you're not.
It's a package deal.
We a package deal. We come as 2 for 1, baby.
And you're lucky to have both of us.
Okay, period.
Because look it.
But a place of lack is like, saying
no one's going to accept me.
So let me
latch on to the one person who will. When in reality,
there are plenty of people that will.
There are plenty of people that will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truly.
But I wanted to bring that point up about
love and lack.
Lack versus abundance.
Yeah.
And we do that in so many different things. Like we do that career wise. We do that relationally. We do that friendships. Like we do that in so many different areas. And it's like we have to have a mindset of abundance. And the only way, Dr. Brian was saying that on the couch that day to me, she was like, you got to control your thoughts.
Yeah.
And as much as I am a spiritual person, it's like I actually had to get back in my word again and be and no, you are more than a conqueror through Christ Jesus.
Period.
Like you're not your thoughts. You don't have to go through life. I'm an overthinker. You don't have to go through life in your head, like
in your head all the time.
You don't have
and you don't have to base all of your actions off of your thoughts. Your thoughts are just thoughts.
They're literally. Me and Braylon were reading. I'm pretty sure you read this book.
The Untethered Soul. Oh yeah, we talked about it on an episode.
Oh,
that book
is literally tells you that you are not your thoughts.
No, you aren't.
Whatever comes in your brain, you literally have the opportunity and the choice to take it and release it.
Yeah.
Or take it and hold it.
Yep.
But it's a practice.
Yep.
And it's a muscle that you have to constantly work and that's on. What I'm doing in the season. It's like I'm constantly like you feel like you left your divorce, but your she's gonna suffer. No, she's gonna have an abundant life.
She absolutely
and because she has this duality of different, she's gonna grow up with a different mindset. And she's gonna be so well balanced. And you put those lies to rest, but you have to do it immediately and not. I was in the dark place that I was in because I was sleeping with the thoughts.
Yes.
I was like having a whole relationship with the thoughts.
With the thoughts, with the image that you created in your mind, with the expectation, with the alternate reality. And some of it's actuality, but like...
No, it was reality, baby.
Yeah. But it's real. It's real. And I feel like in your head, so if you're listening to this or if you're watching this, hey, hi, hello. But if you're listening to this, in your head, silently, scream your name as loud as you can. In your head. You see how you have control over your inner voice?
Literally.
Okay, now tell her. Now tell her to whisper.
That's sick,
right? So if you have control over your inner voice, you can control your thoughts.
You can.
You just have to recognize when it's happening and like alter it. Like this
is literally like you don't belong here.
Like
get out.
That critic be yapping all day, and I'm gonna tell you something right now.
If
a friend talked to you the way your little narrator in your brain talked to you, you would have cut them off a long time ago. You would have cut them off a long time ago. And some of that inner critic is saying, "Don't get divorced because it's wrong." Some of that inner critic is saying, "Don't date again because how could you date again? You're a mom. How could you?" It's that inner critic is not real.
It's
though
so
she
fake.
Doesn't exist, right? And you can shut her up whenever you want to. So. That being said, for someone who's listening, who needs to make a brave decision, for someone who's listening, who's in a situation where it's not 100% wrong, but it's also not right either, what advice would you give them to harness their bravery?
gosh.
It's a loaded question. I'm sorry.
No, it's so good. Because I'm a prayerful girly.
Yeah, you go.
You gotta pray through it. Mm-hmm. It's like, as cliche as that sounds, it's like he truly will lead you and guide you in all that you do. As much as you call your friend, hey girl, Brie, what you think about this? Right. Okay, God, like literally, like, am I in this situation or this relationship because it feels good to me? Or am I in it because we have purpose? Am I in it? Like, if something doesn't have purpose, like, that's what I'm always seeking for in my relationships. I believe our relationship has purpose.
I agree.
Which is why I'm going to continue to sow into this relationship.
Same.
That's now a new boundary for me. Yes. If I don't see purpose, I'm not sowing seed on dead ground. Because I need all of my words. I need my voice. It's water on things. Yes. And I want to grow beautiful plants.
Yeah.
And I guess to that question, I would just say, pray and go with your gut. Your gut literally is the gift underneath the tummy. What is it saying? And avoid outside noises. Do what's best for you. And the guilt. We were on that live and so many girls messaged me. And they had the exact same story. Literally. They're like,
yeah,
I was married. I got out of a divorce. I have kids. And I'm with this guy. I've been with him since my divorce. Yeah. And he's been with me the whole time. I just feel bad because, like, he loves me so well. He loves my kids, but there's something inside of me that is just, it's telling you no.
Yeah.
But everything outwardly is telling you yes. It's like, there's a reason that something is telling you no. And it's like, I always say this, your yes will be for 10,000 reasons, not just one. Ooh. So if I say yes to being your friend, I'm saying yes because I believe there's a healing that you're going to bring to my daughter for years to come. I believe that there is a podcast that I'll sit on that other women will be set free from.
Yes.
Or it's like, your no can be for 10,000 reasons, not just one. Ooh. So you're saying no,
that is good,
to being in this relationship right now. But you're saying no to 10,000 more things to come.
Ooh, that's good.
You're saying no to the person that's still in the closet that you haven't seen yet.
Yes, Shekinah.
You're saying no to the person that you have no idea that exists, that he's hiding from you.
Yeah.
So you're saying no for 10,000 reasons, not just one. And sometimes you have to remember that. And the no, when you say no and it's the right no, there is a strength and a power that comes from that no.
Ooh,
it is. 100%. You get your power back. There's this book that Sarah Jakes wrote. It's called Power Moves.
Go get it,
bro.
Go get it.
Literally.
All the books that we talk about or anything like that, I have in my Amazon storefront that I'm a link.
Have you read that?
No, I haven't read that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll read it. I'll read it. I'm like,
it's called Power Moves. Yeah. And it's like, when you say no and it's the right no. And you know what I realized? A lot of times, like, if a person loves you, you can retract your no.
You sure can. Nothing is permanent.
You can retract it. Nothing is permanent. And
nothing
if it's not,
I mean, a child.
Your child's permanent. You're here for life. Certain things are, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like,
but really no, because life isn't. So really nothing's permanent.
Nothing's permanent.
Nothing's permanent. How you felt yesterday,
but a vapor.
Truly. How you felt yesterday is literally not how you may feel today, and that's okay. The woman that I was yesterday is not the woman I am today, and that's okay.
And I kind of don't want to be her.
Yeah. And you don't have to be.
Yeah.
You can do what you want. It's a new day. It's a new life. It's a new breath.
Yeah.
Moment by moment, step by step. And I think for the people who are trying to be brave, who are trying to make decisions, and you don't really know how to feel or how to go about it, to be inclusive of everyone, whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in anything. Make sure that you spend intentional time with yourself.
That part.
So prayer, meditation, journaling, something that allows you to sit with yourself and sit with what truly feels right within you. Not just what society tells you is right, not just what your friend tells you is right, but like truly
not what
with
you
yourself.
Said was right last week.
Right. Literally.
Yeah.
You can change your mind.
You can change your mind.
And I feel like we all try to live up to this expectation of who we told ourselves that we're supposed to be. When in reality, who I thought I was supposed to be last week, is not who I think I'm supposed to be right now. And that is okay. You have to give yourself permission to do that. So for those of you who are on this journey, give yourself some credit, give yourself some time, but also know that what society tells you about yourself doesn't matter. It's all about what you tell you. Take the brave step. Take it. There's good on the other side.
It is.
Yeah. So today, the B is for bravery. Shekinah, I love you. I'm so thankful for you coming on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
It means so much to me. This was like last minute too. She was like, yeah, like I need to figure out like if Halo's going to come. So really you showing up for me in this moment means so much more to me than you realize. And I'm so appreciative of you being here. So
thank you for having me.
Make sure you watch on YouTube if you are not watching, if you are listening. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you and we will see you next week.
Bye.